All right, welcome back. We want to apologize for that break day. We did get some electricity challenge in the studio this morning, but nonetheless, we don't come back and we'll continue with the conversation as we still get Andrew Kiley with Win at the studio. Today, this morning, we'll look at the electricity situation at the country and the past blackouts with Freetown the experience now and waiting at some of the things them where government supposed for do for ensure say then tackle and challenge there. So now Andrew Kiley be they explain we don't count back Mr. Kiley and miss the challenges, so just be they explain Usai, you think say this present government for to continue as part of the transition from the then former government of President Kuma, especially in the energy sector?
Well, as I say, they don't follow up. Now, whether they follow up well or not, as I say, I'm not in lack for make too much comparison because I believe say things for always they improve as we go along. There are certain things where President Kuruma and government do right, there are certain things where they have to do right. But one thing what they say is the fundamental problems that the sector still there. When this government comes, they raise access to electricity small bit, they don't go up to about 32-35%. But the electricity situation is still bad. We get a lot of problems with EDSA operation. The losses are high, and then, as I mentioned to you, then the loss up to 60% of the power that they produce. The arrangement with car power ship, then say they sort of renegotiate them and so on. But we still see a lot of problems. So we're going to pay heavy subsidy to electricity and pay car power. So the problems then still persist.
So now, as we did talk, we did really feel as a country, and where you look at government, the kind of money where then be all the car power ship, where it reached to the point for let the ship stop for give electricity. Most people listen and say an embarrassing situation the government puts the people of Sierra Leone because the people are prepaid then they pay for. How the money where they're supposed for generate for who pay the ship, how come they reach to the point they're not able to generate as a government?
Well, all the time, also this government number, the money actually what we get from the electricity, not enough. Despite the fact that people they find them very difficult and I understand that, but with the tariff what they pay in US dollar cents, in US dollars, because that's you get for pay car power for. Now, even if you get your own power, you get for buy fear, you get for link to the US dollar. The economy now not good, the economy not good, so the money don't depreciate a lot. So they pay a lot more. But apart from that, again, as I mentioned to you, the fundamental problem is, even if all mommy they pay for them power, enough, that money not enough for pay car power. Because car power is generate most of the electricity right now, especially in a dry season. So because they now increase the amount of power they generate and already pay for it, that gap always there for pay car power. And the basic problem, as I don't say, if you generate something, you lose 60% of them. Through technical and commercial losses. If your distribution system not good, if people are not pay for electricity, various type of people, ministries, department, agencies, high consuming people, individuals, if they're not paying enough, and if they lost also na line, then the money not enough for pay car power. And if you want to generate the same and give people the same power, you can forget that gap. The government has been meeting that gap, but the economic situation is so bad. The government also get for spend money on other sectors. So government just cannot afford it. And waiting on them for do the problems of EDSA, the problems of the electricity sector as a whole, then for address them with more seriousness.
The situation where we talk about is severe to a point that we see the then Minister of Energy tender a resignation, whether they send lot of wrong signal to the public, and now the president take up on the energy sector is saying the Minister of Energy. The president sitting in that position, now really the solution?
No, we're not thinking that the solution, and I would very much doubt if NSF will say that the solution. And the resignation of the minister, as far as we're concerned, things that may not happen over a long period, where probably not good for the sector. whether or not my fault or not, me not go able to tell, because there are certain things we person to do with enhanced time. For example, the investment in the sector were required in the sector, did they give him the money? Did they have too much political interference into the sector? Some of the projects that we then get going, were they well managed? You know, all the questions that they need for ASAM. Not to me go ask that question, they probably looked at that, and the minister decided on his own free accord to resign. But whether or not the president taking up the solution, I don't think that's the solution. I think as a temporary measure, there no say there are things the president can do, because like the Minister of Energy now will go force Minister of Finance to give subsidy for pick-up power. President can probably get that leverage. There are certain things we require the cooperation of other ministry, departments and agencies where EDSA require, where electricity require. Probably the president will find that easy for do. So as a short gap measure, you can do that. But over the longer term, you can't have the ministry managed from the office of the president. The office of the president can get too many things for you. Some of them not being well done. I mean, for go take over another ministry again, I don't think say not the right thing. And I don't think say they don't talk say that that's not the solution for the future.
So the issue of the generation, and because the demand for electricity they increase on a daily, makes so many people on the thing say car powership not for be a primary source where governments for depend on wholly and solely. At this point, with your experience, is it possible for Sierra Leone we begin think of an option where governments for focus on in terms of electricity generation and just get partnership for backup when the other system fail?
Yeah, always when you get any kind of problem there, you can get temporary measures where they take. APCs have been taking temporary measures, and in fact, now they bring the car partnership come. However, the question we'll get for ask yourself is when you take temporary measure, what do you do for make the measures then be sustainable? There are lots of plans for the sector for improve on generation. As I say, the MCC project go there on floor, but then a 5-year project. You get several projects then at the power sector, Respite, EAR, and so on. We're funded by the British government, funded by EU, funded by Japanese, several projects and they on floor, and the World Bank as well. Now, whether them projects and they well managed way for bring the electricity come on floor, if they register now, then they say they get a 6 megawatt unit of solar na Newton, where then get for put into the grid. So there are lots of projects that we plan. There is also this project for LNG projects where then for come with more generation. But then for ask yourself questions, generation also then EGTC, we'll get a 5 megawatt unit in Kington. Then you get a 50 megawatt unit in Blackout Road, waiting at the status of them and then they. So we for always they look at then other measures then for prop up the electricity so that we go minimize what we take from car power. Because we're not able to minimize what we take from car power, it still increase, and because the economy bad, and because we're not collect enough, the situation get for the worse. May I tell you something? It get for the worse than now because one, if they not take any measures, every year EDSA they add 25 to 40,000 new customers on the grid. And as they add new customers, they themselves need electricity, and the electricity situation not good, the quality of electricity is not good, the quantity they produce not enough, and they still get worse. So we have to find a solution as a country. So
from your knowledge as an expert in this particular sector we talk about, what are the alternative to the car powership?
The alternative to the car powership, no quite, the alternative no go totally get rid of the car powership because you need an IPP. Right now, whether we're in a situation whereby we will get other independent power providers who will come provide power cheaper, or whether we will get for look at the car power contract again as they say, then they look at them. But it's very difficult for go revisit a contract. But that's not the basic problem. The other problems of EDSA, me believe say government for address their other problems. The losses. you know, possible for me to reduce some overnight, but there are some low-hanging fruits. You can do certain things and for work towards that. The extra generation, where then they get, like how then they get from the Newton power station, the extra measures that we then they take, you get for really bumping it up. But you're not going to solve the problem.
I will come back to you with this same question because you get a long-standing experience from the days of Pakaba, where you've been sacked the then NPA team, you've been served as a board member, and also you don't serve as consultant to the MCC, all of that. I will come back to the alternative. We can't dissect them very well. But they go now on the line as we get Oluniyi Robin Coker, where now be Minister of Energy under Dr. Anesbai Koroma and regime. Instead go can't tell we waiting and waiting them been do right as of their own term. Electricity be look stable na Freetown. Good morning again, Mr. Robin Coker, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much, and happy for doing that. Thank you for a very important message. And I want to reiterate one point for that week. Now, in governments that continuity, and no one government so far will be able to solve all the problems. And it's important that when any government comes, they acknowledge the work way the previous governments do, and then he also try for build on that work. When President Koroma take over, the country will get about 6 megawatts will be the Canada grid. The first way President Koroma do, make electricity number one priority, and he give 100 days for bring electricity come through an independent power producer, IPP, funded by the World Bank.
Hello, Mr. Robin Coker. Struggle for hearing you in the studio, and I'm sure we viewers themselves the struggle. You can come again, your internet will be coming broken.
So I mean, it's a world capacity.
That's na Oluniyi Robin Coker, in first Minister of Energy under Dr. Anesbai Koroma. Yes, Mr. Robin Coker, they hear you now. So they try forget Oluniyi Robin Coker, former Minister of Energy under Dr. Anesbai Koroma, as it be there about for explain some of the things them where them been do right, we make Freetown as of then they get light. All right, while they try forget Oluniyi Robin Coker, come back na studio as we still get Andrew Kiley, we na engineering consultant and also a socio-political commentator. Today na the Breakfast Show, they look at the PASMAC blackout we feel the experience now. Although government inside last week through the Ministry of Finance, then people press release outside and say they don't pay some money to the car power ship and save the CLSG. But up till now, Freetown not begin forget light it. Waiting at some of the problems where the government they get, and waiting at some of the solution them where experts them they prefer to them this morning. All of that you will get for known at the Breakfast Show. As you join we, don't forget say you for share the program so that more people go join the conversation and get for experience the knowledge we experts them they share with we at the studio this morning. When they come back to you, Mr. Kiley, as they still they try forget Oluniyi Robin Coker for joining at the program. Earlier I asked you say you're not experts in this particular sector they talk about, because when you look at some of the things them where you don't do over the years, you get outstanding experience. You be there at the CMAT team during the days of Pakaba. where he been sack the then NPA team. You'll be able for serve as board member for EDSA and during APC, and you don't do several work them. We don't show say you get experience in this particular sector. When they talk about this alternative to the car powership, where you look at the negotiation where the government gets with the car powership, it clearly shows say it's not sustainable. Any government not able to raise the money for give them, they're not able to give the light and the cut power by the people. As a nation, if we begin think about alternative, what do you think say now the alternative? Because when you look at the structures, somebody will say during the tender will be small, they're able Susan 1, Susan 2, all of that they're not there again at the energy sector.
Well, when you look at the alternative, not necessarily for say go get more generation, put them into the system. You can do that, right? But forget more generation, you're not able to do them overnight. Forget a generating unit for CAM produce power, it'll take a few years. So the only way we can able to do them instantaneously now if you bring another IPP like where you get car power. The advantage about car power is it easier for making setup because it's on the ship outside. So the idea for be looking at, because the money would they look at now, they would look at the quality of electricity. When then one and they produce electricity, car power, yes, would they get, if they're not cut them off, would they get regular electricity in a Freetown, although the quality of the electricity is very bad. So you get for look also at the quality of electricity. But if they try for reduce that deficit now, for make government able afford, may not go say government go able cut off the subsidy altogether, but it go reduce them. And how you go reduce them, I believe say there are some low-hanging fruits. For example, when they talk about EDSA, well, I don't mention this losses several times, but when you lost 60% of your power, and more than half of that now commercial losses where people they know they pay and so on, you have to look at your customers them. Like now, they're high demand customers, we MDA customers them, we maximum demand customer, commercial industrial establishment. What's in they do now other countries then they get proper metering. With AMI metering for that purpose there. Right now, a lot of them now mechanical meters then get, or they not get meters at all. So they are not paying for electricity. If they want and they, all of them, most of them, they pay for electricity, it will help the situation. So let me now say one solution is to get an embedded advisor, technical advisor within the EDSA itself. You know, say there could be a lot of collusion. We know they have accused anybody, but there are accusations that a lot of the industrial and commercial consumers then wait to get away without paying the fair price for electricity now because of collusion. And because also they are not being metered and because they are not monitored. So you have to address that problem. If you address, I go bring and can down small bit. Secondly, the MDAs, Ministries, Department and agencies, some of them are not paying for electricity. I think even the Chief Minister realized this, and I heard some press conference last week where they talk say, they are going to be cutting the money now at source from the Ministry of Finance from the subvention. If they do this, it will help with the situation as well with collection. The other thing is me and you, Naya, Joe Public, where we do there and the way they bypass meter, where they do all kind of funny things, then they get for help with the situation. So that's you get for improve the collection small bit. In terms of technical aspects of EDSA operation, right now, if you have to sort out most of the technical problems within EDSA itself, MCC estimates it costs about $50 million. We'll not get that money for do that. But to get money, we will get money for make we get an embedded advisor. We will get money for more do various small things that we were able to sort out some of the technical losses problems as well. For them get for on back up on that. And thirdly, even if they go for agreement, you get to make sure say their agreement and they done transparently. IPP not a new thing. People they not negotiate all over the world. But if you not negotiate well, you will end up the pay cost them when you really not for pay. How are some of these agreements drawn up? And thirdly, I think say there are plans for where you get some generation, at least they come in. Like how they talk about these 6 megawatt units where they come out now Newton. Also, are we utilizing EGTC enough? There is a 5 megawatt power station generator at King Tom. Why they're not the way I understand say the run. Why you go ask yourself the question, why they're not the use them? If they feel no more than go for buy. There's a 15 megawatt unit at Blackout Road. We probably get some problem, but that can be sorted out because 1-2 million for such amount, then a small money relatively. So the need for look at the whole energy situation. And lastly, may I not forget about MCC. MCC 450 million, it will reduce most of the binding constraints that will get to electricity.
The team now where they negotiate. You optimistic for a good outcome with all waiting hanging from the elections, tripartite and everything.
As a Sierra Leonean, I get for be optimistic because if I'm not optimistic, if we not get that MCC, they are no waiting, me no waiting the MCC go do for we because we are involved in the study. And me no say that MCC day because it they get extra generation from Bumbuna, they more or less double them. It get extra solar renewable energy. It goes get a transmission backbone. Now the country will get a proper transmission backbone. We're going to make it easy for extend power to productive areas of the country side, and we then go use it usefully. Then it will also reform the power sector itself. So if we lost that money there, that now wala pawi. There is also money coming from various donors for various projects. Them. And if I ask the questions, how well are those projects running? Are we running them well? Are we running them on time? The project management good, but that not to me for answer, but we all get for answer that question.
All right, Engineer Kylie, we will come back to you. Continue for the between at the studio. Like we tell you now, we go back on the line for try forget Oluni Robin Coker, where now be Minister of Energy under the former President Nkrumah in regime. Good morning again. Welcome to the breakfast show, Mr. Coker.
Good morning, and I hope so that you're all clear on time.
Get you loud and clear now. So let the viewers know during the Anes by Nkrumah regime, waiting differently on what they do in terms of electricity. We make if you ask some people, fairly then go say before former President Nkrumah they left power, Freetown electricity be done the stable. Waiting they do differently during its term.
Well, I think we therefore take into consideration Usai President Nkrumah been start from. President Nkrumah start when Bakaba handover and left 6 megawatts. Immediately, President Nkrumah tried to ensure that he bring an IPP or add about 20 megawatts to the grid. After that, we engage with a company we named ADAX, we carried another 15 megawatts to the grid. Then we fix Bumbuna as well. Now we, under President Nkrumah, Bumbuna gets commissioned. Then they been get a nameplate installed capacity of 50 megawatts. So we get quite a bit of electricity generation assets. And then, of course, you get the megawatts, the 15 megawatts that Blackwell Road, where Mr. Kylie referred to, where again occur under President Nkrumah. But the major problem now the grid, and I think say Mr. Kylie, Engineer Kylie, don't reference them several times. We need to manage the grid. Even as we say today, the government of the day, they say then they can evacuate, increase the evacuation power on the grid from 80 megawatts to 110 megawatts. The reality is enough. As far back as 2014, we believe, say, we need the ability to take about 200 megawatts just for the western area alone. And so far, it looked like we say we path to arrive at the megawatt that evacuation capacity day, it looks slow. And I think the most radical thing any government can do for solve the long-term electricity problem, because this not go solve inside any one government automatically. Now, for take a very radical approach and look at how you will manage your sector for yourself. We too get this dependency syndrome. We get MCC, World Bank, Indian Exim Bank, all man they come and offer for help with electricity. But the reality is, when they come, they're very slow. Indian Exim Bank on the province we a transmission line for over about 10 years. It's still not reached it. Okay, MCC then said they will give with the Southern Corridor. Now MCC seem to forget new ideas as to as and when they will give with this. So honestly, I think the way forward for a start now for trying to get off the dependency syndrome when it comes to the electricity sector. World Bank in some years ago, they started the ESOP project. It took them over 5 years for let us initiate the project to the point where they begin to invest in the rehabilitation of the network. By that 10 day, the management contractor don't come, it don't go. So honestly, the first most important thing now for think, how will we get ourselves off the dependency syndrome with development partners? As a country, we get resources, we need to know how we manage the resources. Engineer Kylie also say electricity, it has a lot to do with money. In fact, I tell President Koroma once or time, as we not get electricity problem, we get money problem. Electricity expensive to produce almost everywhere in the world, but if you don't take your time over the years, you don't develop your hydro resources, when are one of the lowest costs of electricity generation, you go able get lower cost electricity. But then they require planning. So I think the three most important things where you try to develop this electricity sector, you get to get really good, robust, detailed plans. You get to know exactly what you want to do. You get to able to mobilize resources around them plans in a very timely manner. And of course, you get to get the will, not only to implement, but to pursue the challenges where they come at.
Mr.
When
Robin
you talk
Coker,
about the MBA,
Mr. Robin Coker, you now be Minister of Energy and also a private sector advisor to the former President, Dr. Anesbai Kroma, during in term. What do you go point at now, say, na legacy the way una been left, where go be solution to the electricity problem where Freetown they experience now?
Well, I think first and foremost, we understand, as again, Engineer Kylie say, government that continuity. But we start, we continue now, we don't help the situation, but it not come in a timely manner. For example, when under me own watch, now we experience some significant problem with Bumbuna. When I take over the ministry, Bumbuna will produce less than 25 megawatts. It gets problem, we fix them. Say now able to do up to 49 megawatts. That's definitely an important legacy. We bring in ADAX, and ADAX come with another 15 megawatts. We develop plans for bring in the rehabilitation of the electricity network in the western area. I mean, you'll be shocked to understand the conditions under which the old NPA, some of them, the stations there, when they work. Manually, they use the switch gear with no safety equipment. We raise money from different sources for able to fix the. We then sign IPPs, Solar Era, Bumuna Phase 2 with Sewa Energy na the north. We work across the board for try to make sure say we able to bring more generation resources to the table. But unfortunately, again, as long as we get this dependency syndrome and we wait for other people like Kangiwi and money for do with distribution. Now take the example, that 6 megawatts solar now Newton. Then now we start them. Now me personally sign for that money there. They don't bill them. But because the distribution not there for the surrounding communities, it not actually begin operate. And now World Bank now, they can't give money for do that. Some of the issues here, so we have to tackle them as a government and as a people. So we put a lot of the building blocks in place for make we grow the sector. And electricity demand is not reduce, it just increase. You therefore begin look now at how you will utilize not just solar on the grid, but solar off grid. Pico solar way, then they use now Boku parts of the country where people they get light now under President Kurma in watch. The UNOPS program and used access a lot of the set President Kurma and watch on its own. Government that continue, therefore, build on the successes of
Mr.
policies.
You don't make mention of different things. And for Sierra Leoneans right now, especially in the capital city, waiting and want for see, now for let lights come as consistent as then they pay for them. With all the things that we don't make mention of, we included long-term plans, waiting at the immediate steps them where government for take for tackle the blackouts.
All right, we with a struggle with the internet from Mr. Robin Coker end, but we go try for Brian come back as himself na expert na the sector where we look at today na the energy sector, and he don't serve as energy minister and also a private sector advisor to former President Dr. Anes Baikoma. When they come back in the studio, Mr. Kylie, you mentioned all of the things them with a pipeline project them, including the MCC. But all of that's not things alone people want for you now, especially we within a Freetown, because now we they experience this blackout at the moment, so they talk about, and people want light today, not to tomorrow. All of them projects then we make mention of, including that of the MCC. When you feel say the MCC go fully, people and go realize them.
Mr. Winkoka say a lot of things that I agree with. First of all, the mention, I'm glad we mentioned say government about continuity. I still remember PA 2000 where they go Abidjan for go negotiate for Bubuna project. You know, come to fruition, APC come to power. So things that the way APC do were good, where I believe say this new government for pick upon. Waiting the problem we'll get is we always criticize what others they don't do before. And one of the other things we talk we agree with, donor funding not necessarily the solution. Donor funding, as Mr. Binkoka say, it coming very slow for implement them projects, and they by the time they go through the procurement process and implementation, and also we get for look at with project management. Certain time and they can say project they come on floor. The people that they manage and within EDSA, within the electricity sector, they're not a manager well, or certain thing and they now the donors then fall. So that is not the solution. So I agree and say basically short term. One of the other things where you say electricity is not money, short term is a matter of money. Government get for provide money, but the economy, whether the economy goes standard is a different thing. Then secondly, the matter of the low-hanging fruits. Like in the mention about this 6 megawatt, for example, in Newton, where you say that how they send them into the system, now have been the problem. So I'm glad the way that they try for accelerate that. You get for accelerate that. They also don't talk about how much power we require and how it's difficult for get into Freetown. Then a longer term thing. So there are things we can do within EDSA itself and within EGTC, because I mentioned say now during the period they bring the 15 megawatt power station na Blackout Road. So you can ask a question, what you get for do for make Blackout Road come forward? That government get for putting money for make that the operational. Government get for putting money for make the 5 megawatt unit operational. Governments, even if they not get donor fund, get for putting money for make the Newton thing come on board. That will give you some extra generation, small bit. Then there is the internal problems. We know until we say the problems that EDSA, the impossibles for solve. You don't come out from that 60% losses. You can't to any significant figure, but you can nibble at up. You can begin bring and condom. What are we doing for collect revenue from maximum demand customers? What are we doing for get revenue from their MDAs them and whatnot? But that shortfall there in terms of us meeting that electricity demand for pick-up will still get for continue. I believe so the only thing we can do, we can reduce the quantum of funds so they pay for that.
So with all of that being said, because we see even to last week after the minister we been they resign, we see the president don't dissolve the board. Now EGTC and that of EDSA again. Is it that then they miss the point, instead of investing in electricity, dissolving the board and the minister resigning? Now that's the pathway or now money for put into this?
Well, you can say some people and not argue say that people and they probably not sacrificial lambs. If underlying problem not
so the minister resigning, they dissolve the board, you think say that the sacrificial lambs then?
Well, I know they say that, but what they say, may not be in a position for say, but I don't know how much of what in the minister been they recommend get political support. For example, me not the minister, but did the minister, for example, go say, give me $1.5 or $2 million, more could fix this power station at Blackout Road, it go give me something. Give me money, more could buy fuel for this 5 megawatt station King Tom. Could it be that the minister asked for that in August support from other ministries or you not get full support from the top,
just draw me to topical discussion where a lot of people will talk about. Immediately the minister tender a resignation. People see a press release from the Ministry of Finance confirming say they don't pay the cap power ship. We make a lot of people they ask questions, say, is it politically influenced? The minister not be the get that kind of support.
Me never say that. I think the best person for answer that could be the minister himself. But the thing is, I know for sure from discussions with the minister and people in EDSA, they're aware of some of them problems and then think say a very good idea for make it go forward. Now dissolving the board of EGTC and EDSA, I'm always afraid for that kind of situation, and the one I believe say probably the government get the right motive for say one for investigate certain things or one for get free hand for run certain things, so therefore get for resolve the board. If that is the issue, that is for them for decide. But that not going to be a long-term solution, because enough fine for any establishment run without oversight. That oversight was provided by the board, not necessarily about financial oversight, operational oversight, and so on. That for day. Having said that, yes, it's legitimate for look at the boards when they perform. If they not perform, then yes, they have a right to remove them. But why do they remove them en masse? That is a separate thing.
But are things getting better? We don't go into a week now from where the minister don't resign and the operations of the electricity energy don't go directly under the office of the president. Are things getting better in any way?
You know, anybody where they look for a quick fix solution, say things will get better overnight, I think they delude themselves. It's not going to happen. Because when you don't get a sector, we don't so bad off, where so many things don't go wrong, rightly or wrongly, whether or not the people that maybe needed a fault or not. For me, change them overnight, basically, not to that. And the government self get for asking self say, Uda, for example, they appoint the Director General. And always government they appoint. Government even go to the extent, as happens in some ministries, department, and agency, for appoint people then beneath the people that were in a Director General. So is there inordinate political interference into those sections? One of the things that we me push for privatization, and privatization again for try for embark upon that, what we did in 2000, 2002. We'll find out, say, you get bad government interference. People then go on for involved in who that buy fuel, who that get various contracts, who that they appoint in which position. And now then they occur, and most of the state-owned enterprises where they occur. So electricity is no different.
Before we can go to Olini Robin Kokawe, don't join me back on the line. Quickly, let's just put this question to you. For the past 6 years, government say they don't pay over 200 million as subsidy to EDSA for the car power ship. Then now the authorities, then they say MDA they owe the EDSA about 20 million. The number they not look they match. If government they say they don't pay for subsidy but $200 million, how MDA they now go owe EDSA again 20 million?
Well, what's not the problem? And that make things say they try for governments don't get MDAs them. MDAs them owe EDSA. Me understand say initially when they try for call on this debt from MDAs, then they get the nod from above say, after all, would they give una subsidy? So una go sort down the out first, sort out una internal problems, we make una they lost so much electricity, which is fair enough. But me believe in accountability. Me believe say the best thing for be, even if government they provide that subsidy, they make government make the MDAs them pay. And waiting and now back up on now, at least waiting and non talk, then go cut at source, make them pay. So we know how much MDAs then pay, and we know say MDAs then not to then cause the problem, not then the losses. However, government go still get for subsidized.
As they talk about losses now, for the days of NPA CMAT, the losses are about 40 to 50%.
Yeah.
With all the over 20 years investment in the energy sector, up till now they talk about losses. You watch country like Gambia, now about 10% if they talk about losses. When Salon will reach to them particular level,
as Oluni say, we get for invest in the sector, because part of the problem we then they face, we make their losses, then they go down. When we get money, what will they spend them on? we have expanded electricity. As Oluni say, Pakaba left, you will get 6 megawatts. The time in the MPA, you will get 0. We raise them within 2.5 years to about 10 megawatts. They want SF raise them within the own period. But you always increase access. And as you increase access, because you hope, say, the energy plan, say, by 2030, 82% of Sierra Leoneans for don't get electricity. Now, for come out from 10%, go 15%, go now 35%, you extend the system. Every year you want to add 25 to 40,000 customers. So you extend the system, then they try to improve the system with limited amount of money and with poor oversight of the sector. I mean, nobody knows, tell you, like, ETSA is not corporate governance, ETSA is not being well run. People, all donors, reports that we listen to them, then they talk about reform of ETSA. You know, we don't try for reform in the past by getting management contracts. We get a management contractor come in. But then they come in for 2 years, it stabilize the system. Then we go away, new people then come. Is it that Sierra Leoneans not able to manage? No, not to the system that. Sierra Leoneans can they, but there is a lot of interference into the running of these state-owned enterprises.
Interference from outside?
Interference of government. Always the occur.
That's what they unbog ETSA, then work. The energy
yes, when we've been taken over in 2000, one of the things that we Pakaba do, is been get rid of the board. We came from the private sector. For 2 years, we've been run without a board, right? Because we find out, say, board members, they want get contract for buy fuel, they want know who they appoint, they want to do this and that. So Pakaba no be one make who get that kind of interference there. But after they bring back the board, we'll begin run. When we see also how donor funds very slow in coming in, as Olini mentioned, we talk, say, this is not the solution. The solution is for bringing private sector participation. And private sector participation, a lot of people that they make mistakes say that wholesale privatization. That is not the case. Private sector participation can be simple management contracts. It can be taking over a section of an establishment and getting private sector for coming to the total privatization. For example, then they talk about revenue collection. It's possible, say, you can get an external agency, get for come, do the revenue collection and do the disconnection. What we need, then we actually take people from outside for help with that revenue collection, they for call debt, and also that and then get prepaid meters. Then we get people and get where they help you for disconnect. Because we're not being trustful man within NPA. When they go disconnect, we representative actually they go, they point to this source. This minister get this, when I jump up and I disconnect and then disconnect them. There were lots of threats to that company they were being doing to we. But we did it because we had the backing. There was the political will for medicine change. So private sector participation, when they talk from 2002 to now, 22 years, we then do the study and they now unbundle the sector. Why is it slow? Why is it not taking place? ETSA as it is now, most people then say you take money now, you go pour them in, poop, and they just go down the drain.
All right.
You have to sort out the management.
Well, they come back to you, Andrew Kiley, we're an engineering consultant and also a socio-political commentator. And then we at the studio this morning, we look at the energy sector, waiting go wrong, and waiting government supposed to do. But aside that, we look back during the term for first term President Koma, waiting in be do rights, we make Freetown at some point we they get electricity. Well, on the line we get the Minister of Energy, the former Minister of Energy, when Oluni Robin Coker himself done the share with me experience this morning at the program. Mr. Robin Coker, as we speak now, Freetown continue for experience blackout, even though the Ministry of Finance don't pull press release, say they don't pay some money to the car power ship and that of CLSG. But now, rumor where they out there now that the government not able to buy fuel for the car power ship. What do you feel say for be an alternative to the car power ship as somebody who don't serve as minister in the energy sector?
Maybe the short term is very difficult. Even with the CLSG, way cheaper than the car power ship, we get issues around how we go do the payments to them. So I think we need to look at the money business, now the Ministry of Finance, and how the Ministry of Finance able to mobilize resources for support the sector. We get the the Western Area Power Generation project with the car up. But then they 2 years from now, it will be a better replacement to the car power. The investment into the network now the most urgent and critical part. And then they require boku money. And that money there, it go not go easy for like government get a mindset.
Turn down the volume of your device where they near you. Please turn down the volume of the device.
So the network investment, it require private sector. And not to private sector just for manage. Private sector need for invest, for put the capital equipment, for put the transformers them, for make the cable them, put the meter them. Under President Kurma, now we start the process for say, let meter not be just inside NPA or EDSA. Let private sector deliver meter. But it look like the private sector they try for put the meter there in, then they face some kind of resistance. You need for liberalize the sector. You need for open inside the districts, let people are able to do general and distribution. You cannot allow all things to be centralized. It not will ever work. The money wire, government not will get them anytime soon. So you need for allow the sector for car in and make the necessary investments and recover their investment over time. On the issue of solar are very important. One of the things then where President Kurma do, it liberalize the importation of solar for making more affordable. At this time, you get to take pressure off the grid. And one of the ways that you take pressure, solar affordable. You get you not able where you increase the duty on solar and you not get any financing mechanism in place for level solar be affordable difficult off the grid. Reduce this over regulation where anybody will want for power generation for himself, he can forget.
Sakoka.
Multiple licenses. Quick fixes will not the Minister of Finance said the money when is spent by invest by EDSA, then the offset against the bill.
We get interruption from the internet connection. But on the line, now Oluni Robin Coker, former Minister of Energy under the Kurma regime, be they talk about waiting the Kurma regime be they do for tackle the issue of energy. All right, we come to the other studio guests. We Engineer Kylie, we get interruption from the internet connection for talk to Oluni Robin Coker, when a former minister. At this stage, we all know say if you bring anybody now also from EDSA, one thing we then go first tell you the concern apart from the payments where they owe the ship where government say they don't pay, then go say oh people they thief flights now that they make the one then way they pay for them not able to forget because one day way they thief them boku and all of them stories and they if not that's not the issue na EDSA, waiting need for be done for tackle and kind challenge here?
Well, it's very difficult. As Oluni say, whatever solution we'll get now, government get to be ready for put money into the power sector.
Government get that money because of the suicide. Government really they struggle.
Government is struggle. They might not have the money, for example, for go fix a big problem. But they're not going to tell me say they're not get a problem. For example, the entire talk say for fix this units that Blackout Road cost about $1.5–2 million. Government can't tell me say they're not going to scratch and get that. And then talk say we need for run the units na Kingtown with power and the government not go tell me say they're not go able to pull the money. Then secondly, only bring forward a very big thing, very certain. Even without privatization, you can get private sector involved in various aspects of the sector. It will also tell you about how much them do for metering. Private sector can be involved. Private sector involved right now, even in terms of extending power to subside them. For example, I know say one of the things that really help ETSA, then extend power to Octea from the CLSG line. But that not because Octea not too far from the line terminate, so they're able to do that with very small money, and then they get big payment from Octea where then they take for subsidized within the Canada sector. I know say some other mining companies then they were interested for Melenge. I work with 2 mining companies were interested for where they extend power to them, but ETSA no getting money for extending the line to them. But they are thinking of getting the private sector involved in such things. So there are little things you can do. As I mentioned to you, you can get the private sector involved in the collection exercise and so on. But in terms of then solar, also, Olini talked something very important. I not see how we say we need solar in the country. They would go slap big duty on solar panels. It means we are not encouraging people to use solar. And if we get an energy policy, the energy policy calls for renewables will include solar. By 2030, 50% of the power will be generated from Salon come from renewables. Oluni also talk about hydro schemes. We go for encourage some of them, and there are a few. Bikongo right now, then they do a study related to Bikongo. But there is another one where the study not advanced, Bitmap, where owned by Sierra Leonean. There are some solar companies with Sierra Leoneans they're involved in. I believe, say, we'll go for liberalize the sector. We'll go for look at how each and every small private sector player can play something. They liberalize the sector, but some problems and they, for example, the solar up country, because people then they pay too much for solar energy. Then they pay 2-3 times what they pay na cities, and then they get less money. So it's unfair. But you got to make sure, say, then solar units and they linked towards productive units then. There are areas that where maybe they get rice mill, they get this and that, where they go use the power, productive use of energy. So from the MCC study, that are one of the things that we may look at. Which areas then go need power so that they go get the transmission line close to them, like the mining companies, like the big agricultural establishments and so on. But as you say also, there is a plan for the sector. We get anything you do, you get forget a plan. It's not easy to get out of this mess, but the plan is laid out as to what to do. There is a roadmap for the power sector from now to 2030. And that roadmap has been upgraded by other consultants. We can look at them and say, well, this is the roadmap. What you can do as Sierra Leoneans, we approve this, let's go. Year 1, this is what we do. Year 2, this is what we do. I think, say, if you explain technical things to people, then you can understand. What you may not like that way, technical people then can dishonest about what they tell people. For example, if they can't tell you now, we will not accuse and say, oh, we not owe CLSG, oh, well, we not owe them, will they sort out something? Yes, we not owe them.
So
yeah,
the fact at this point, there is no quick fix to the blackout.
There can be a quick fix to the blackout, because the blackout right now, you know, been the Oko before bad one before about a month ago.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a question of money. To pay CLSG and the CAPA, and they don't pay them some money. They will also pay CLSG some money. So the problem now, I understand, I don't know, that na fear problem, but I'm sure they'll get over this fear problem. So before very long, I think say the blackout problem, I'm not saying it will be solved, but we'll still get power like how we get maybe about a month or 2 ago. But that's also been cause a lot of problems there, because people they complain about blackout in various sections. Now the sustainability of the sector, all of them things that me already don't mention, you get for do them. And it is not a quick fix.
Talking about the people where they feel the pinch of the blackouts now. Yeah. Liberty Online Television been go out and we reporter David Yankisi been talk to people in a Freetown where call on government for let them ensure say them put immediate measures for tap the blackouts where people in Freetown they experience now.
Now it's all on point now. We see that they can buy water cancel. You remember they can buy back in Oko, now so no more week out a hot back. You see now them get the one for me. So this is the money we need like problem. The money we me like me so another man. Me man don't die. About them at they sell no money. So if you light no dey, me picking up for go school. No get money for jam. So papa dey abeg me dem catch for you the light them. Yeah, allow market another one like keep away.
So many factory na the government, the president now they supersede the light business of the country. What do you want like you do for like to get steady electricity in the country?
Well, daddy, now the minister. Now you know what they talk to the people that work out the what he said. So let's talk to a lot get light. You see, now beg they beg no more. Let's talk to them get light. Yeah, big.
The light don't affect me, and not only me, the people in the nation. And trust me, as I talk to now presently, I do exams na FBC. So like I can find it difficult for study at night. Sometimes pass I go out there na telecenter them and it risky. For let go na telecenter, I go left your phone for charge day. You see? And at net pass I use my phone light for the study. And the heat, as we all know, and as you see, I not even wear clothes because of the global warming. I be here on studies. I decide for Canada for I can't take breeze, but as you see, I don't dey sweat other. So I want to talk to Papa government for let them able to try for sort out this light issue. It really don't dey destroy we people in the nation. And Papa government, now you no more go able help we on this. They are the beg with the people. This is not so by violence. We they talk to now. Now talk we talk to now no more and beg una for do this. Without lights in the nation, a problem. They are the beg una. Una try all kind of way for sort this light issue in the nation.
It don't affect me plenty. I not to me one no more. To the next neighbor people and back, it don't affect me. It don't destroy me. Like me force me not single parent. Yes, I get picky where they care selective. I get picky where they was. When a two lights are above, after God, na two lights are above. I mean business why they say na lights are they use. Yes. Then I make markets where about past 2 million market all poor at least under lights. So then they poison me. The way we make it food, it well all I want day. Like we so why they can't sell. Not to all time they get chance to cook, but now me super where they cook, they put in a fridge. When me picking and go and cook it, it well. So all and it affects me. It make I don't know I feel. And we right now not about no say we get post where they give me pass I can send me picking them. Pass I said I do something concerning school business for me picking them. Me na single parents. So if you all intend they be, don't be to me. I don't say me company back who they sell on school. It be to them. Okay, got on school, could just laugh, we say how the lights, then they say you no go explain, then they say you no go explain. You see, this made the Papa government look winner, it is sorry for two the lights. Hey, right now with the strain, with the suffer. Thank God right now the water, no case, we they get water. Never when I one in, one out, yes, that's why for me, where you get next month forget. But the lights will not even get answer. For me, the first I will get all lights go per way. Look me market in a fridge. I not even can sell and save. You see, and picking it by two water, it always buy two cake, now it go buy it eat, it enjoy. You see, password I don't begin to other markets at the sell. And I don't see no way for say I go first this sports, I go this way don't pull. So we assist me like me assist at the sofa, baby.
Okay, with all of them challenges how you don't raise, how you going to let government intervene and let we get steady lights now in the country?
Well, it left to them how they don't plan themselves. How they plan themselves because I know we say I go meet government. But I look, I say this man left me case give God. Because when me market on well, so nobody no go say make her help this girl, make her get something, make him help in life. No. And now the school now where they go, where we picking they go so now. If you not get money, you picking able land because every day picking they can't say mama picking teacher say this, mama teacher say this. If you not got two side they get her. Who say you want me pick? You go sit down. Because always then we go school, they must say can I host and whatever. So what's that they need now? You see, then they tell about free education, I don't see the free education at the country. But we know they manage, how they manage now, they need to give us we go able to get some, maybe we educate to picking them. You see? So then it painful me to me next companies, it depends. You see? All I want the Papa government, if you not help we, it left to them. So we don't take a case, we left and to God say we don't decide we mind say we left all things. Anything get time.
Imagine, like we say now we don't so fond of the social media. You get for the play with your phone, especially you get iPhone or waiting. Where we say for the mere fact, you get for need light for the charger all the time. There are other thing back where they do, some of the parents where they do business based on this cold water and drinks the way they sell. You understand? And they look at the one, say the thing, even for let it cold. You need to even get away for it, you even need the collateral because there you go get access to collateral where the light no day. Then you dey buy it top up. You dey buy it top up, you dey expect say light for them at the country. Though at the end of the day, you need to expect nothing. Meaning it's like we don't on the cheating. Because now we did the cheat. Because you know get your meter, you dey pay for light. Don't wait else for serving in return. Though you know expect that they have this now this part of salon more will get 10. Then another thing back where they find out like I get me somebody where they do WhatsApp program with Kool-Aid. Look this being said, just put some Kool-Aid in a freezer, all what in all fuel. We don't spend over 100 for put there, you understand? Then you look at it again, say the heat is on. If you never get access to water, it affects everybody. Even the growth of anything so far. You know, when you experience something light now one of the generosities from we say now basic needs of we the cities in the within of the country. You understand? Now one of the basic rights. Because light everybody need, like, you need to do without light. Okay, for who they suffer like what's of the one within the hospitals where we say they need light for let them survive, some of them. You understand? Thank God some people they're healthy, but the constraints of light is too much at this country. Based on where area where they serve Gloucester for all get lights being a work. Now the lights have the play out when it can even don't put some property there around. Where someone they tell me say well in TV, someone they say well in other thing. So you not tell well at all, it's undone.
Right. You know, go all of those concerns that we do is how you go and let government, being the facts and the president, let the supersede the light business at the country. How you want to intervene for local business to the electricity at the country? Okay, well now we hear that say the power of itself, now they oversee it, now they act within two deputy, they with the deputizer. So since in the day now, I believe say in the serve as a mentor now where we go experience because like when we hear first the word say the power don't they on top of the situation like now in the act, but we say maybe so then they change the aspect or the perspective say we begin get light. If one go with that kind of relief, you understand, one cool down with temperature. But on the other way around, now the same thing they go on. Like some of we from where the party acts, we area Gloucester, we need get light. So we don't know. If he went on then I think will be a better change because all they say Salon go for pay billions, Salon go for pay millions. Okay, we don't know how to see so how sure of it because now then they do their work. But wait till they beg our government, let them go with lights, let them make sure say this light where we get access to it because we can't do it without light. No go back days. From Musa we don't come more. We don't come on that end, we don't come on that side. That way all the day where lights can be get lights on light on we not for the day again. We not for the day again. Lord come up from that side, we need light and we need to do it without light. You understand? So we need government for intervene and do serious work out so that lights go come. If any side of us sort out them problems, they don't do another how to care about. Now maybe they pay with bills. You understand? Because they go around at the end of the day they expect so they give them the money. So let them back go way to deserve in return.
Alright, welcome back. You still watch Good Fashion and Liberty Online Television. That's our views of people now Freetown where they share them views with Liberty Online Television. We come back over to you, Engineer Kylie. We don't listen to the people where you they watch the people they comment, how they feel about the blackouts. As a citizen, what's in the come in your mind?
I feel for them because there is a link between energy and development. Any country will not get energy, they develop. Then there are no two ways about it. And people you notice say they not only talk about usage for them personal comfort. Some of them they use them for business. You talk about that woman they sell in goods that they sell now. And going away from the public sector, you go to industry. Industry then they complain because they power nowadays you get for use high price generator, fuel cost they up and whatnot. So all of that they tell on industries, they tell on the tourism industry, even the running of hotels. So power is important. It's important say then sort them out. And as you say, some of them people and they don't want to listen to explanation. They say then they go to government, but government sort them out. So me believe say government financing. Then get for be ready. I mean, you get for make sacrifices. I know say things are difficult. Then get for finance the gap now. But why then they do that? There are low-hanging fruits will be mentioned where they get for try for address for me to reduce that gap.
With all you experience, you don't then at this energy sector, you don't serve from Pakaba, President Kouma intensive can you serve na the challenge. We'll talk about the energy sector. It's not a secret because if you reach to a point outside the minister, they resign, must not say disaster they are ahead. As bad as the situation now, if the current minister of energy, when the president, he called you for can EPAM, willingly you go serve? Well,
I always serve with anything we get for improved salon. As I say, me under President Kuruma way, they put me on the board as we do consultancy, the power sector and so on. So the thing about appointments, I believe say certain appointments and they in a salon will not get for be too political. Especially things that we forget out of the mess. I think there are good brains in this country. I think there are good experienced people. If I reach right across the aisle, especially for problem like this, look at various people who can help. Not necessarily being ministers, but in advisory capacity, in technical capacities, for look at various issues. I believe that can be done. But if you just say, for solve saloning problem, you they look to within your circle of friends and solve them, even if they don't get the expertise, it's going to be difficult.
So now long appointments, who they country side this so now, especially the energy sector?
Well, me they say, knowing what you may know about some sectors, I'm going to be very careful and the importance of salon. I'm going to be very careful who that I put there. It got to be people that we well vetted, we get experience in that field, and also we get integrity. As I mentioned one time, one of the things that really surprised me about Parliament, anybody who then go recommend for any position, I know one day see them thump somebody down. They always the rubber stamp them. And the power of the executive alone, I mean, this is something not only for this government, but we don't talk even for previous governments. The president get too much power. He get too much power. He can make or break place. He can decide who that go who side, then will for a point and pull person there. And over the years, we don't see even side them where the executive not for the interfere. I don't know if now then they do it directly, but they go and appoint people like now some ministries, department, agency, some good agencies, and they then go just pull the head, come out there, even if not to by political appointments, they're supposed to do that. And then even they go beneath their heads, then they appoint people then for serve as managers. When you do that to a corporation, then you want from other corporation do well, then you bypass the board altogether, then you get yourself for blame. So you ask yourself the question, the oversight so then provide for the energy sector, is it right? Is there too much political interference into that?
Which you go see?
I think there has always been political interference, and I think that for stop.
And what you go advise President Biona, because clearly now under this energy sector don't they now in the directives and all of that. What will be your advice to as a way forward?
The buck stops with him. I believe say one of the things that we can always say about the energy sector is being well studied. A President Bill as a new energy minister can just take time and look at all the recommendations that have been made. As I say, there is a roadmap. There are other studies and say they recommend say this is what we for do stage 1, this is what we for do stage 2. If somebody can make a précis of that for them and look at them and say, okay, this is what they've said. There are some low-hanging fruits that EDSA will get for solve. There are some problems we'll get for make transparent agreements with IPP. We'll get for strengthening EDSA to the extent that a concessionaire will come. Concessionaire now they prepare the way for our private sector coming. What you need for prepare, your laws and regulations where you require, how you get for strengthening the sector before big private sector players come in. Because right now you open EDSA, say, oh, this group here can't take over. Then they ask you first of all, how much debt EDSA get? I'm waiting at the management of EDSA. You agree make a change the management. How much political interference? You get for clear all of them from a serious person can they. Then the next stage of the process, how do you get extra generation in the country with all them projects and how they do? How do you provide oversight for the sector? Take to the longer term for 2030. When I say we forget 50% renewables, how are we implement this? Then who do I need for me to implement this thing for me? Because that obviously cannot be implemented by State House. There are too many things to do.
All right.
So that now I'm concerned.
Many thanks. Engineer Andrew Kiley, we join me in the studio this morning. We can talk about the energy sector, waiting go wrong, waiting need for be done, and safe people for some solution. Just hope say government go listen to some of them things there. So OU and Olunui Robin Coker don't talk about inside the program this morning. And also many thanks to all who watch with this morning. One for apologize again. We'll be to get some challenges with electricity in the studio, and we'll manage for broadcast. Continue for watch Liberty Online Television. Continue for share all the programs them so that more people go join the conversation. Mina Khadija Bangwa, they say have a good day.
And Mabel Kabade say many thanks to the production team and also USNU message. We continue for the there for Liberty Online Television. Continue for tell more people so that the family will continue for grow. Until we meet again, goodbye.